Okay, good morning and welcome back to Ask Mason. This is a little segment that we do, Derrick and I do every other week, where anyone in Enid can just send in questions or find me on the street and ask questions, and we'll try to answer those questions as best we can right here on this program. So, Derrick Silas, the head of communications for the city of Enid, as always, thank you for being here and being part of the program.
Thanks for having me.
I'm assuming that we do have questions again this morning.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear it.
Yeah. So I think we had two commission meetings back to back. One we were talking about a $6 million shortfall in the budget, and the last commission meeting, we were talking about a $5 million economic development loan. To most citizens and residents, they may not understand the flow of how everything works. Mm-hmm. So explain to them how that all works.
Okay. All right. Good questions, by the way. Those are pretty in-depth. Let's start with the $6 million deficit on the budget. You know that back in May, we had multiple budget meetings to where we were trying to figure out how many dollars into each department that we needed to appropriate. Cities, municipalities in Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma is the only state where municipalities do not share in the ad valorem tax. All of our revenue is based on sales tax and fees that we charge, whether that's trash, sewer, and water. The rest is just sales tax. So when people go to Oklahoma City and purchase dry goods, groceries, all those type of things, those are tax dollars that do not come back to the city of Enid. So that being said, we have to project how many sales tax dollars we think we're going to have based on the year prior, and that's how we set our budget. So by doing that, we always set it very conservatively, because you don't want to allow for more money than you actually have. So we set that sales tax dollar very low. It shows a deficit over here, but as the year goes on, has been my experience in the past, our sales tax is usually quite a bit greater than what we think it's going to be or we allow for. That's already happening now. It's up over 5.5%, I think I heard. So that deficit is more of an accounting process than it is a true deficit, like people think about not having enough money in your bank account. We have money in the bank as a city. We're paying all of our bills. That $6 million deficit will continue to close and close and close until there won't be a deficit by year end. Okay? So, moving forward, why did we go ahead and do a loan for economic development? Well, I'll go back to what I said a while ago. The lifeblood of any city is sales tax. Where does sales tax come from? It's when people, individuals, you and I, go down to the store and we purchase items. Or if we buy a home, while we're not getting any ad valorem tax, we're still buying water, sewer, and trash from the city of Enid. So, as a community, if you do nothing to drive your economic development, your population will eventually just fall off. Because as businesses, as owners retire, as they close, that base will get smaller and smaller and smaller. So your municipality, your city government, has to go out and try to recruit other businesses to come to Enid, hopefully with a lot of employees, a lot of good paying jobs that will purchase houses, cars, and buy their groceries and all their dry goods right here in Enid. And in order to do that, years ago, a lot of communities would have industrial parks. And we've got an industrial park. The problem is it's not very large. The State Department of Commerce has told us that if you want to be in the hunt for businesses today, they want a lot of space. I mean, they've got to have 4, 5, 600 acres on some of these plants that are coming in to even consider a community. I know that recently the State Department of Commerce had given our ERDA, Enid Regional
Development Alliance.
Yeah, ERDA,
Yes.
Enid Regional Development Authority, I'll get it right in a second, had given them a list of businesses that were interested in coming to Oklahoma, but every single one of those had to have more land than we could provide. So we couldn't even qualify to go out and try to get some of these businesses. So with that being said, we've decided through the ERDA to try to increase the size of our industrial park. And you can't wait around until you've got a business ready to come into Enid to say, okay, we're going to start putting in that infrastructure right now. Because it takes a long time to run water and sewer and the utilities up to any property. So that's something that we have to think ahead and do today so we can go out and recruit those businesses tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean a year from now, 2 years from now. So the purpose of that was to get our dollars so we could purchase our land, so that we could access some dollars that are available for us to take the utilities all the way out there to that property. And then when that business comes along and says, I'm looking for 300 acres, 400 acres in Enid, we need water, which we're about to have a lot of water. And we need a good roads running up to it. We have that. We can be in the hunt then to bring in those businesses to Enid. But you can't, I made a comment that night at the council meeting, Noah built the ark before it was raining. He was betting that his assumptions were right, and they were. Yeah. And that's where we've got to be. You've either got to be progressive and go out there and try to go get this stuff, or you can sit around and just watch your community, your tax base get smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's important. It's important to the city and all of our citizens. You hear me say all the time, people always want a target. One thing brings a target, more population. You know what brings more population? More jobs. So it's a process.
Very good, very good.
All right.
I had another question. I know you're 3 months in as a new mayor.
I know. Can you believe it?
Seems like it's been a year. How does it feel to you? Well, my question is, how are you networking with the other mayors in Oklahoma?
Okay. All right. Good question. Just recently, it's probably been a month ago now, there was the Oklahoma Municipal League is an organization here in Oklahoma that takes on municipal issues and helps municipalities in all types of government. We're a member. The city of Enid is a member of that. And through their organization, we've been a member for years now, but through their organization, they also have what's called the Oklahoma Council of Mayors. Okay. And I was able to go to that conference, met mayors from all over the state. Met one mayor, his community had 70 people in it. Okay. All the way up to Lawton was there, Broken Bow was there. Broken Bow, I think they said, had 117,000 people. So got to meet these other mayors and some of the challenges that they're having. Mm-hmm. Got to meet them well enough that I've got their cell phone numbers now, and it's good to have someone that has already experienced some challenges. Everything we do in Enid has already happened probably somewhere else. Yeah. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to find the right answer. So I think it's important that we do that. I've also just last week was invited to become part of the Mayor's Council. And so that's something that's not unique just because of our size. We're A lot of times we're asked to be on that. I know that Mayor Panikin had been involved with that, and then Mayor Shuey was really involved with the OML and the Mayor's Conference, or the Mayor's Council. And I just think that's important that we network with other mayors, other city managers around the area. If nothing else, it lets us gives us a benchmark of how we're doing. There are those communities out there that would love to be in it also and have the dollars and the revenue and the activity going on that we do. So that's probably the main way that I'm doing that right now. It's also amazing how many phone calls you get from the state capitol on some things that are going on, just wanting to make sure that our community understands what's happening down at the Capitol, which can be challenging sometimes. But I'd say through the Mayor's Council right now is how I'm doing most of my networking. Just meeting some other great people across our state.
Okay.
So,
Very good. Well, those are the 2 questions I had for today.
All right, great. Well, as always, we welcome you to send in questions. You can send it to askmason, M-A-S-O-N, @enid.org. We'll never use your name, so you don't ever have to worry about being embarrassed, but ask those questions. You want to know what's going on in your government, we'll do our very, very best to ask those. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and send those questions. Thank you.